In today's lesson, we're going to learn how to install and use a free alternative to Microsoft Word. Let's get started. First of all, let's open a browser. I'm using the very latest of Microsoft Edge, but you might have a different browser. It really doesn't matter which browser you use here. First thing we're going to do is go to the address bar, just in case, and type in www.google.com. Okay, next we're going to type in Open Office Download, and then quite simply press enter. The first result almost always will be official download Apache Open Office. If you see an advertisement above this, just skip past it until you see this page. Official download Apache Open Office. The first thing you're greeted with is what you would like to download and the language you'd like to download it in. So let's look at that. Well, I'm using Windows, so I'm going to download the one that says Windows and in brackets EXE. I speak English and I'm British, so I'm going to download the one that says English British. You might be from the US and speak English, or you might be from many other countries and speak very many different languages. Whichever language is best for you, that's the one you need to download. Again, I'm from Great Britain, so I will download English British. And finally, it's the very latest version that you want to be downloading here. So once you've selected that, simply click Download Full Installation. This will take you to a website called SourceForge. Don't worry, it's fine. Takes a few seconds for the download to start, as you can see. The download will start shortly. And here it goes. So it's now downloading here. Provided you're using a browser like this one, I'm using the latest Microsoft Edge, which is based on the Chromium browser. You might also know it as Google Chrome. But you might be using Google Chrome or Firefox. Nevertheless, it'll be downloading just the same. Once it's downloaded, simply open the folder it's downloaded to. Don't open the file itself just yet. Let's have a quick look in the folder and see where it downloaded. Once this is open, we can also close our browser. So now I'm in the Downloads folder, which is where my browser is set to download it by default. Your browser might be set to download it to a different location. So we can see what we've downloaded here is that we've downloaded Apache Open Office 4.1.7 for Windows, and mine appears to be the x86 version, not the x64 version. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter. What we'll do now is we'll right click on it and click open. If you're not an administrator of your computer, you might need to click this link. What that will enable you to do is allow your administrator to put in their username and password. But I am an administrator on this computer, so I can just click open. The notification you see in front of you right now is just Windows asking us if we want to make these changes. We know what we've downloaded and we're happy with it, so we'll click yes. This is the installer for Open Office. This is asking me where I would like the installation files to be extracted to. We can delete these later. It's asking me if I want to put them on the desktop. That's fine by me. The installation continues, but you might just see in the background Open Office has created a folder here. Just ignore that for now. It's not doing any harm. Now it opens this one. Click next. You can put anything you want in here. For example, you can put your username or your name, anything you want. I'm going to put my name. can select whether you'd like a complete installation or a custom installation. What's interesting here is that if you click custom and click next, it will show you what the default installation would be. We're not going to change that, we're going to leave it exactly as it is. Also, it's asking us where we would like it to install our files to. C program files x86 Open Office 4 is perfectly fine too. Click next. This screen is asking you whether you would like to associate Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint to Apache Open Office. Well, I don't have any Microsoft packages on this machine other than the operating system itself. So I'm just going to leave those ticked. You might want to do the same, provided, of course, that you don't intend to use a Microsoft package to open these files. You're installing Apache Open Office instead of a Microsoft package. This one is asking you whether you want to create a start link on the desktop. That's really, really useful. I recommend that you do tick that or leave that ticked. I'll show you that later. Click install. As you can see, the installer is going through the normal process of copying files from, well, actually in this scenario, it's copying it from this folder to the computer itself. Usually it would be copying those from a CD or perhaps directly from the internet. Right, so the installation wizard is now complete. Let's click finish. We can now close this, and as I said earlier, I have no problem with Office putting those files there, but now we can see it's installed by having a quick look there, and we can now delete those. So I will click delete, and that has now popped into the recycle bin, as you can see. So we can recover it later if we need to. If not, we can then right click on the recycle bin and click empty folder. I'm going to leave them in the recycle bin for now, just in case we need them again, but I don't think we will. So that concludes installing Open Office on Windows 10. We're now going to take a look at Open Office. I'll give you some basic examples of how to use it. The first thing that will happen when you first open Open Office from the link on the desktop is you will get this screen that says this is a wizard that will guide you through the registration of Open Office. You don't really need to do this. Well, let's assume that you wanted to. It's actually useful. Sometimes Open Office will predict what you're trying to write and sometimes put your name in there. So let's put that in there just to help Open Office out a little bit. I'll put my name in. All right. So as you can see, this is a kind of smart start screen, if you will, of Open Office. You've got some options here. Let's just go through them one by one. You can create a text document, which is very much like using Microsoft Word. You can create a spreadsheet, which is just like using Microsoft Excel. You can create a presentation, which is very much like using Microsoft PowerPoint. You can create a drawing, which is very much like using Microsoft Visio. You can create a database, which is just like using Microsoft Access. Or you can create a formula, which is much like using a formula in Microsoft Excel. Today, we're going to concentrate just on this one, which is making a very basic text document, and this one, which is making a spreadsheet. So let's start here, making a text document. Let's write a very quick letter. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, just to make it easier for me to see. The first thing you'll notice about Open Office is, especially when we're creating a text document, is that it's laid out just like a sheet of paper. Here in the UK, our sheet of paper size is A4. If you have downloaded the US version, you would probably find that this sheet of paper would naturally be the size of a letter, a US letter, which is slightly shorter than A4, but almost the same size. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, let's assume we're going to create an actual letter. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name and address on the right hand side. How do we do that? Well, the orientation options are here. You can align left, align center, or align right. Let's click align right. Now, let me just type my name. It would be good if we had a finger space there. And then we'll write my address, which is 123 Some Street, London, SW15 1ES. It might be obvious that's not my address. Anyway, let's assume we're writing a letter. And then we're writing a letter to Richard Branson at Virgin. And he is somewhere in Florida. And I have no idea what the zip code is. Dear Richard, I am impressed by your Virgin Galactic things. Kind regards, John. Well, that's a short letter, isn't it? Nevertheless, let's go and have a look what it looks like as a print preview. Oh, we might want to zoom in a little bit there. Oh, too far. Right, let's have a look. So that's what our letter would look like. And in order to print it, I'll just go back, click close preview, and I'll just show you how I did that preview just then. I clicked file and I clicked page preview. All that does is it will show you exactly how your letter will appear when you print it. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is click print, and then it will open this and you will have a list of your printers. If you would like to see a video about installing printers, I will put a card in this video, but if you're watching it on a television, I will put a link in the video description for you to check that video out of how to install a printer on Windows 10. So that's how we create a very basic letter. Yes, I do know that I spelled Virgin with a W accidentally. Alright, so let's start again. So we're not going to save that letter because we weren't really writing to Richard Branson, of course. And now let's move to making a spreadsheet. So here we have the option of text document, which is what we did a moment ago. And the next option is spreadsheet. Again, I maximize my windows just because I like to make life easy for myself. Let's assume that we were writing ourselves a price list. The first one, let's write item, just to give it a name, then the price. Then let's assume that the price is per quantity, and then total. Alright, so let's just hover over there and drag that out a little bit, just so that we can make that a little easier to read. We'll make the top line bold, so that we can see that that's the title. Let's say we're selling food. Just thinking off of the top of my head. Food's easy. Alright then, so let's say a pizza slice. And that pizza slice costs $5. And then we're going to say that we have 8 slices per pizza, and the total price of the pizza, if you were to buy the whole pizza, would be this. So then we click in there and we click equals price. So we click there and then we press star, which means multiply in computers, and then we click on that one, and then we get a total that would cost us $5. There are 8 slices per pizza, and if we were to buy the whole pizza, that would be $40. There is a way, of course, to make this field, and I'll click on that one too, to display in dollars. How we do that is we select them, and then we right click and we click format cell, and we select currency. I'm in the UK, So clearly it thinks that I want to use a pound symbol. But I've decided that no, I'm actually creating a... Let's try it down at the bottom. There we go. I want to use a dollar symbol. Then it says I want to use 2 decimal places, and I want to use some leading zeros. I want to use the thousand separator, which isn't really relevant for this example, I suppose. I could make it relevant. And then we click OK. Let's assume, just to show you the thousand separator, that we're going to do $500 per slice. Of course, that's unrealistic. But you will see that now it shows 4, as in $4,000. But there's a very basic example of how we can use Apache Open Office, both the writer and the spreadsheet. We're not going to save that, we don't need to. Open Office is absolutely fantastic. It's open source and it's absolutely free. You don't need to pay for it. If you would like to contribute and you are a software engineer, I'm sure that the code base the contributors and the code base manager would be very happy with that, but you don't need to. It's a community project that is managed by many software engineers that absolutely love to write software, and they do it out of the goodness of their heart. So you can rest assured that Open Office is actually a fantastically written product, and I've never ever had it crash, unlike some more commercial packages. So that was a very quick example of how to install and use Open Office. If you want to see some more in-depth videos about how to use all of these, I go through the in-depth examples of how to create documents using Open Office Writer, Open Office Calc, the presentation tool, the drawing tool, the database tool, and the formula tool in separate videos on this channel. I'll link to all of those videos in the description below. That's it for today.